Hey everyone, welcome back to Brick System Brothers. What you see right here is actually not an official LEGO product yet. This is called Lego Up, and it is kind of a prototype idea by this guy Douglas Cushing. He's an industrial designer, I believe. And this has kind of come across some of the channels that I follow. I actually saw it on LinkedIn where the LEGO group made their own post and then put in this quote here and provided a link to Douglas Cushing left his own link to this gallery on Behance. And then LEGO actually linked their innovation intake portal. So this kind of reminded me of ideas in the way that they're outsourcing the actual original idea and then bringing that production to their company. But in this case, the innovation portal, let's just open this up and look at it real quick. It's more of a kind of professional level where it's definitely geared towards more of the design, like very early on in the design, almost looking at new ideas for the LEGO system rather than new ideas for a LEGO set. So that's kind of the difference here on the innovation portal compared to ideas, and why LEGO would need something separate for that. And looking at kind of this introduction on this Behance site, it's on the very edge of what we would actually consider a LEGO product, although I could see this becoming an official release at some day in the future. And I actually think we might see this within the next couple of years because LEGO has made this post. So they might actually be wanting to use this as an example and kind of show what works well for them and what they want to see if you're going to be using this innovation intake portal. So I'll close that out for now, and we'll look through this a little bit because there's actually some interesting stuff. There's a couple main connection points, but the basic ones are the friction clip style, and really it's the friction clip, and then the other one is this other kind of connection with like the rim. So this one attaches to a bottle cap, and then this one is designed to attach to cardboard. And some of the concepts and ideas here kind of demonstrate that. And I think one of the reasons that LEGO is kind of promoting this is because it's done so well in terms of the concept stage of things, where we have these quality renders already done showing how everything can be integrated. But the main idea behind this is the upcycle. So we want to be able to combine the LEGO system, which is represented on this end, with other material that would otherwise be trash or waste, that kids would kind of have access to already, and some kids even upcycle it on their own and just build with hot glue and stuff like that. I know I did a little bit of that when I was a kid. This is just kind of facilitating that connection between LEGO and recyclable stuff, or in other terms, upcycling, which is why it's called LEGO Up. So this connection is inside the bottle cap. I think you would be able to thread it because that's kind of a standard thread size. And then the other connection with the friction clip is designed to go over cardboard. And I think there's enough flex and cardboard you can kind of compress a little bit that you could do multiple different thicknesses of cardboard with this, and you could kind of fold paper and get the same effect. And then this one I think is also a slightly different thickness, designed to work with bottle caps. So these are kind of the points of intersection between the LEGO system and the upcycle material. And of course it's all been designed to work within the system, so it still has that 2x3 footprint, although this section would be completely new. We don't have any LEGO bricks with that kind of sectional removal. So that all integrates pretty well, as demonstrated in the renders. And then Douglas also had ideas for the packaging, and this is very well done in terms of looking like an actual LEGO product, with kind of their standard info side panel over here, and then the very basic design and outlines that we already see on some of the printed base plates with the road system and all of that. So you would receive this. This is just a concept again. This isn't an actual product, but you would receive this LEGO Up set, the Mighty Airplanes, as it has been called here. And then you'd be able to build this with everything in the box. So it would include these Lego pieces, and then you use these cutouts from the box to create the rest of it. And the combination part right here is where you use this new idea to kind of clip this onto the cardboard, and then you can build onto that surface right there. So there's the brick style, there's a plate style one of these, and then the runway is actually just kind of a separate piece of cardboard, so you really don't need it in the box, but nice to see an idea for that all the way up. Another one that was a good one would be like the coloring, where it's just something that you could color on and kind of make your own style, and then use these clips. I think my favorite one that has this sample idea is the mountain cabin, where you're using this cutout to form the roof and two of the walls, and then everything else gets built around it. So you actually slide this down, as shown here, and it clips in on either side of the wall and then kind of wraps around, forming the roof and forming the other side of the cabin. And so in this case, you're also working with the angle of these slopes, and instead of building a brick-built roof or using a lot of these slopes to build a roof, you're just using this piece of cardboard, and everything is ready to go, ready to integrate. There's not really any other cutting required because it's all spec'd out to size on here. It's just kind of a punch-out thing. So here's a pretty good render of what this result would look like. And it does have a little bit different feel to it than Lego, because everything up to this point, almost everything, I'm actually going to look in a second, but almost everything up to this point is 100% brick-built plastic bricks. We either have the bricks or the plates for the roof, but we're not actually using other materials in our Lego sets. Officially, of course, there's nothing stopping you from going and doing this with materials that you have on hand, but that would involve going and cutting out this yourself and figuring out these angles and sizes. If this were to become a product, that would all be ready to go. You can bump that age bracket down lower ages that might not be ready to tackle this for themselves. So they're kind of using this as their go-to example at the moment. And the original posting, I think, is a couple months old. Go down here. 5 months ago were some of the initial comments on here, and then it seems to have regained some traction within the last week or so, which is when Lego put this on their LinkedIn. So possibly it's been in their production house for a little bit, 4 to 5 months here, thinking they might actually be moving forward with something here, especially since they've posted on their LinkedIn. Definitely going to be keeping an eye out for something that looks like this. And we are seeing something similar in Lego art, where there's the wall hanger element, but nothing really along these lines to date. The one thing I want to add in here at the end is something called MUJI, MUJI, which was a couple of specialized products back in 2009 to 2011, and I actually didn't know about these until today. Through an interesting coincidence, Brickset published an article about how they organize their database, and this was specifically mentioned as one of their miscellaneous items. And so I had taken a look at this earlier today, and then I came across this post, and it's just kind of the perfect combination, because MUJI has a very similar attachment method. Instead of using specific clips like the Lego Up concept, so the MUJI idea is more along the lines of we're punching these 4 holes out of a piece of paper, and it's more of a decorative thing than a functional thing. And then it's secured with a 1x1 round stud, either in the center of these 4 or right on top. As some of the other products, it shows it right on top. And since I haven't even heard of this before today, it is definitely kind of a niche thing that didn't get a lot of reception. I don't know if it saw a really large market at all. Looks like it was probably a Japanese or Chinese product with all of the other branding on here. But interesting to note that this is not a completely new direction if the Lego group does release something like this, that there is already stuff out there very similar that's an official Lego product. So there was even this little 4-hole puncher deal that you could kind of make your own MUJI paper. So definitely worth looking into this more, just reading up on the Lego history on Brickset, and the official Lego group LinkedIn post. I'll link that in the description. And then the Behance site with Douglas's work on here. Some great images, and you can tell this is at the professional level, just design sketches and that kind of thing. Looks like some 3D printed prototyping here going on, and then these final concept renders with, interesting to note, the patent pending watermark on all of these means that it's either Douglas or the Lego group moving ahead with something in the works here. So keep an eye on it. I know I will be watching this for sure. At least 5 months old and then kind of rekindled last week. So definitely something that's in the works currently and not old that's just been sitting around. It could see another kind of waiting period before anything else pops up. But if I had to guess, I would say we might see something like this 2021, 2022. And just kind of an initial reception now, while it's still a prototype, still a concept. What do you guys think of this idea of kind of integrating Lego pieces with other random, like cardboard, bottle caps, otherwise junk, that kind of the inspiration here was Douglas himself would do this with his stuff growing up. So kind of bringing that to the professional level and an actual product, teaming up with Lego here, has the go-ahead as seen on the post, and then this innovation intake portal, worth checking out as well. I don't think I have anything up to the caliber to send in at the moment. Ideas is the place you want to go if you have an idea for a Lego set, of course, but this does exist for ideas like this, and a good example here from Douglas Cushing. So thanks for watching, guys. A little bit outside of the scope of what we usually cover on the channel, but I did want to bring it up and talk through it a little bit, and hopefully you found it interesting as well. We'll see you around.